between his legs and he ran up because he didn't want to or think he should pay rent. So, sorry. Is that better? The microphone's on. So. I don't know what's up. And my Bluetooth. Of course, nothing is working today. I'm about to say, fuck it. Excuse my language. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. The day from hell. Come on up. I dropped the link. Sorry I'm being so quiet. I was raised when you can't say anything nice. Don't say anything at all.
Hey.
Hello.
If you would explain to your partner the situation, would they have changed the lock for you?
I don't know.
Mine would have.
Well, they didn't know he was exactly staying here. He wasn't on the lease.
Gotcha.
So I'll talk to Joe. He's pretty cool. I'll just see if he can help me put it on there.
Oh, the maintenance man?
Yeah. He's a patriot. He's a veteran.
Who? Who are you talking about?
My maintenance man.
Oh, okay.
My roommate basically said it was my fault that all this happened.
What happened?
I asked him to chip in on the bills because he's been here for like almost 6 months. I need help. He's using half the utilities. They're going up. And I sent him a text 2 weeks ago saying, hey, I need you to start chipping in. He ignored it. Didn't even want to talk about it. Then he's been moping around depressed for like 2 weeks. And then last week he was actually out working. So I said, hey, can you help with the bills? I don't have any money. What have you been doing with your money? Oh, I've been out partying and coming home with weed, but not helping me with rent. So I get up the next day. He's asleep, of course. So I sent him a text. I said, we need to have a talk when I get home from work. Well, I get home from work and all his stuff is gone.
I'm not surprised.
But it's my fault. It's my fault.
Hey, is he a narcissist or what?
Mm-hmm. Bingo. Yeah. We've known each other 20 years. He's the one who red pilled me. And he was mad because I didn't get on the prepping community and help him push his solar campaign. Why would anybody want to join a solar campaign when we know what solar is? And who's it tied to and what it's made from? It's like, I'm not pushing your job, darling. That's your job. I do a job. I work 10 hours, 9 hours a day. And I'm pretty cool. I drove all the way down to North Carolina to pick his homeless ass up and give him a place to stay so he can get back on his feet. When I ask for help, fuck you.
I was gonna say it's about time for you to say, give him a big fuck you.
I'd blocked him.
Yeah, well, he left before you had the opportunity because he knew it was coming.
I mean, I was gonna be cool. I was like, let's have a talk. I was like, because he was like, well, I got that message you wanted to have a talk. I said, you assumed that I was gonna get mad, which was not the case. You assumed, and you assumed wrong. I was gonna work things out with you. I was going to say I need half. I was gonna give at least a third. Something. Anything would help out. What could you afford? Let's work this out. But no, you put your tail between your legs and hightail it out of there.
Oh, that's graceful. I mean, you at least said it nicely.
Because my mother said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, well, you said it. You said it nice. You said it a lot nicer than I would say it.
And then he was like, I'm pissed off that your prepping friends couldn't help talk to your prepping friends about selling solar. He's like, you want me to give you money, then help me sell solar. I'm like, I don't give a crap about your solar. No. If you want to go talk to prepping people and get them to buy solar, then create your own channel.
It's like saying, Mommy, I'll wear shoes if you'll tie them for me.
And I'm like, no. I was like, and then because there's the apartment down here, which the maintenance man apologized to me for this week, because we've been having fruit flies like crazy. You've seen me going like this. I didn't know where these fruit flies were coming from. And he was like, those fruit flies, that means you're completely disgusting and you living in a horrible situation. And I said, the fruit flies is because that girl left her apartment abandoned with all of her crap and no electricity and food in there for 4 months.
Yep.
The maintenance man has to clear it out. He apologized and said that the exterminator is going to be in this week.
You're lucky you didn't have that happened to me, 30, 40 years ago. And we started getting cockroaches, and they were laying eggs in our bedding and our closets and in our clothes.
I got diatomaceous earth everywhere.
Oh God, it was awful. And we went downstairs and all the food had been raw meat had been left out, and there were maggots in it. Oh God, it was horrible. Flies everywhere. It was awful.
Stay conservative. Come on up if you want. I mean, it's just ridiculous that this guy, wants me to be mama. I'm sorry.
I said, Mommy, I'll wear shoes if you'll tie them for me.
I'm not your mother. And apparently his brothers don't want anything. Well, one brother does. The other brother doesn't want anything to do with him. The mother he talks to her like she's a piece of garbage. He feels like she owes him something. He's 47 years old. Grow a pair and get a fucking job and get some responsibility.
Well, being a narc doesn't have an age, unfortunately.
And he's just like, it's all about him, and I'm just like, he's like, I said, I want my key back. He goes, what, you're kicking me out? I said, dude, you left with all your shit. Consider that gone. I was like,
oh God,
I don't like the threats hung over my head. And I was like, dude, I'm done. I said, I am at work and I do not feel like talking anymore. And he's like, well, then shut up. Block.
Hey, Dur,
Block.
how you doing, Dur?
Dur.
Hi. I'm really
Dirt.
sorry you're having issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dirt, tell her.
I
Yeah.
saw you the
She
mic.
with a narc.
I saw you.
Apparently, helping someone out for 6 months and paying everything is my fault.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Slap him upside the head next time you see him and tell him to fuck off.
No, the next, I just changed the lock. That's why I'm really frustrated because that didn't work out so well. And it was like,
Why? What do you mean it didn't work out well?
I can't get it to work.
Oh, the new lock?
Did you get the maintenance guy to help you?
He's in bed. I'll get it in a couple of days. I got the deadbolt locked. He doesn't have that. So
Oh, that's good.
I have my gun on me. So
Is he still in town?
don't care. He's not in this town. He knows better.
Well, that's
Another thing he complained about. He's like, well, you live in bumfuck Egypt. I didn't beg you to stay here. Could have left any time. I never even asked you to leave. You're the one that made that assumption.
Hey, pretty.
You took it. Own it.
Yeah.
You didn't want to face the music. And then right when I was talking to Silver on the phone, I'm sitting here telling her about the situation, and there's a billboard that says "Man Up." I was like, "Yes, right there, man up."
That's terrible. That's
He's
awful.
not a man. He's a baby. He wants to be Peter Pan. He wants to live in Never Land. He's like, well, as soon as I sell solar, I was like, you went down to Florida to sell solar 3 or 4 times in the past 6 months, and all you came back with was a sunburn. I was like, you.
Sound like you was on the beach.
I mean, he's all talk and no action. I'm like, I'm sorry. Go live. You want to live rent free? Go hit your brothers. Oh, that's right. You can't stay there anymore. Go live in your van. I don't care.
Yep. Hi, Mama Bear. Hi. Who else? Alicia. Hi, Alicia.
Mama Bear Strong. Come on up if you want. Alicia. And Conservative Patriot is here.
Dur, I saw you on Mark earlier.
Yep.
Where is Silver Girl? Silver.
And then I went over to Gigi's instead of prepping.
I moved in my apartment a year ago today.
Pardon?
I moved in my apartment a year ago today.
Oh, wow.
My lease is up. Woohoo! Now month to month.
Isn't that more expensive?
No.
Here they charge you a half, or like, just say your rent's $1,200 a month. They will charge you $1,800 a month.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
No. This is peaking. I have to share this. This is fucking hilarious. This is on Facebook. You know those prove me wrong signs, memes.
Joe Biden just.
There you go. Change my mind.
That's like Trudek there the other day made a statement that he,
I heard he did. What was it?
he spoke to the former, whatever the hell Hillary Clinton's status was, because I don't know what it was. I don't care.
I don't think she knows what it is. I'm gonna have get some coffee.
About what Trudeau's doing with the Afghan women and children, and she supported his move.
She what?
She supported Trudeau's move,
Of course.
what he was doing. How many more millions of dollars are going to go out of the country instead of at home?
Now they probably want to help them men, women, and children to.
It ain't going to go to the women and children. It's going to go to some stupid fucking
No, I'm talking about probably going
where
to
he
travel.
can make money. Because he's a dickhead. New World Order piece of crap. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I apologize.
Well, that's okay. Don't apologize.
I need all this stuff to come out before
sure
the election.
I'm sure you can say a lot more selective words if you wanted to.
Yeah, I could. Like, I need this stuff to come out about the vaccine. Sorry, Angel. I
Jabberwocky.
apologize.
That's
The
all right.
Jabberwocky and the pandemic to come
Hey,
out
lady.
so that, you know, I mean, they've now put out that on the 22nd of September, we have to have a passport.
Hey.
Am I happy? No. But, you know, the passport doesn't include grocery stores. It's gyms, restaurants, like arenas and that kind of thing.
Are the people they want to put out of business?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Walmarts and business stores, the big stores. It doesn't include the stores.
I'm gonna have a smoke. As stressed as I have been, I am pretty good. I haven't had any tobacco.
No.
So, believe me, the world might be a better place if I had tobacco, but
Take
I
a
wouldn't
breath.
want to go on a murderous rampage or anything.
Take a breath. Breathe.
Huh?
Take a breath. Breathe.
Who's Baba?
Yeah, you won't lose your lighter, will you?
No. It's got an America flag. It's a little pulley thing, and then it's got proud to be an American.
When I went on our family reunion last year, I
It's
had
for
a
lighter
ring.
thieves.
I had a ring on my shirt. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that had my lighter on it.
I mean, because I have friends who are
And
lighter thieves. They will take them faster than anything.
And it had a bottle opener on the same thing. It's like, I'm prepared. I have a beer opener and I have my lighter. I'm good.
Yeah.
Hey, Giggles.
Pardon?
Hey,
I said,
Google.
Hi, Giggles.
Hey y'all, you're lucky I got a second. I got a
Hmm?
second win because I was real sleepy.
I was getting frustrated. I spent 2 hours on that doorknob.
Oh, I would have been ready to throw something or break something if it was me.
I was like, I'm not leaving a hole.
What if you
So,
put a dang doorknob on?
the first time I got it up there and it worked, but then it wouldn't lock. So I'm like, So I had to make it work. And then now it won't latch. So I'm just like, So I said, I'll just use the deadbolt and say, fuck it.
Oh my god!
I'll look at it later. Because if I spend 10 more minutes on that thing, I'm not going to have a door.
You start fresh in the morning.
No, it's going to be like tomorrow night.
Huh?
I said it'll be tomorrow night after I get off of work.
Okay, well.
I've been at work like 12 hours today, so.
Today's been a bitch of a day for everybody.
Everybody. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Has just had a bitch of a day.
Mine was pretty good today, actually.
I
You
messed
believe
up
in
a shirt. That was my first thing.
Mama
Then
Bear.
I mean, I've got a whole wall of baskets of shirts I've got to get done by Saturday.
Wow. Oh God.
That
And then
means
I had
You said, look.
35 lanyards to make. These are the lanyards. I'll show you. I made one for a friend of mine's dad who passed away. Let me find it.
You have to
Uh,
do this all by yourself? Are you working all by yourself?
I have
Mama
another
Bear.
artist. This
Come
is a
up here if you want
lanyard.
to.
there's just a lot of deaths in Kentucky.
Oh, that's
See?
nice.
And then it says, goodbyes are not forever. Goodbyes are not the end. They simply mean I'll miss you until we meet again.
Oh, that's really nice.
And this is my friend Nathan. And then it's him and his son. I did that for him.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
And that way, because he was murdered. So,
oh man. Yeah.
well, he
Dorinda,
Shit.
you doing okay, Dorinda?
he was
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
he was on the Big H,
Oh,
and he wanted to get off of it, and I right before he passed away, I saved him. I got him to say the Lord's Prayer, and I turned his life back to God. Right, the night he died.
awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That sounds like
And
Robert David Steele. He did the same thing, not the same night, but within days of his dying, he did that with I can't remember who was doing the stream.
107?
Yeah, no, it wasn't 107. It was
If he died, I don't know if I believe he died.
Was it
It was-
Sasha?
I don't know. It wasn't Sasha that I was listening to, but it was someone else who was close to him, and
there he is.
it wasn't Scott either. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
I just got your live,
That was
But
Angel.
what?
I just got your live.
Me too.
Did that like half an hour ago. Oh, look at the baby.
yeah. YouTube's all messed
She
up.
got a haircut and a
Goodness.
and she got a brushing. Look at that.
Oh, he's so cute.
face.
That's what those ears are supposed to look like, long and flowing.
She needs some bows in her ears. A
So
bow.
cute.
Some bows.
She said, I got a bath. It was the bath from hell this morning because Mama felt
Oh, look at him. He's so cute.
Aw. I know. He's like a teddy bear.
Craig is on
Dorinda.
live. Craig is on live. It's just update. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dorinda.
Angel, were you on 101?
What?
No.
Angela.
I was in there for a little bit.
Were you there at the end? I
No.
just had to get out,
No, I didn't.
They were-
I wasn't there.
They were trying to talk about what was happening on Facebook, and they were showing the advertisements, or where they place information from Facebook, and Facebook was calling more or less preppers as hoarders and overdoers, and encouraging people to turn them in because they're psychologically defective.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, preppers. If you know
Yeah.
somebody that's over prepped.
Yeah.
Oh,
I seen
wow.
that. And,
None of their business. Mind your business.
my
people.
friend I was telling you about, Nathan, he was trying to clean himself up. He had a very weak spirit, and he had found out his roommate had been ripping him off, so he kicked him out. The guy messed with his stuff,
Hmm.
put the big F in it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Mm.
and he died.
Oh,
Did
that's
he
sad.
OD?
Yeah, he was only 43.
Did he OD?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dorinda,
I'm
did you
sorry.
watch? Did you
Yeah.
watch?
He's coming back. He's
Janine
been making his rounds.
today?
He's been in like two or three of my dreams the past couple of weeks, and his son said he had a dream where he just got up and just started. He had a yelling match at his dad. They had a good long conversation. So
I'm sorry, Giggles. What did you say?
No, I said, did you watch Janine and uh the Dave? What's his name? Dave
I
or
watched part of it. I
okay?
didn't get all the way through it.
It was kind of interesting.
I'll get back to it later.
Yeah, go back and watch it. Make sure you watch it all.
Yeah, I will get back to it because I love Gene.
Yeah.
I like her too. I have something that I found while I was on the phone talking to Angel earlier. She thought I had just lost my wits completely.
Are you
And
talking about Gene Decode?
it's the last link. I just put in
No.
Janine.
yeah,
Hi, Brenda. I saw you on Mark.
Yep, I was there.
I had to go, but I didn't see
I
my.
did this for his son when he passed away.
Oh, that's nice. That's the guy that plays the guitar, isn't it?
No, this was a friend of mine. He was my first friend in this town when I first moved here.
Mama
He
Bear,
was,
what are you doing? You still
he
in
was
here?
he was awake. He was very awake. He walked barefooted everywhere because he said that it cuts you off from your
Group.
earth frequencies when you wear shoes.
Oh, so
So
you could go out barefoot? I don't like going out barefoot.
he walked barefoot everywhere. They called him
I
a
can't
monkey.
do that.
I
My
mean,
feet are
he went through
sensitive.
the woods. He went through everything all barefooted. He would come into the bar barefooted. So,
And you guys still served him?
well, he lived right behind there.
Yeah, but in Canada, if you have
I like Mama Bear.
get no service.
You know,
I mean, literally, he would roll out of bed and stroll.
yes.
I mean, he never wore shoes. He never wore shoes. I think even when he was buried, he had bare feet. So,
Well, in the South, they say that you can tell the Southerner by how wide their feet are, because
Willie is believing in Nessie. Hello.
a true Southerner uh, will walk barefoot everywhere, and that's why their feet spread out real flat and real wide.
yeah.
And I have 5'8" with a 4'8" foot with a 5'8" heel because I wore braces, so I never got to walk barefoot. I'm
Yeah.
the only one that's got these little bitty, long, skinny things. Everybody else's are big, fat things.
My feet are real sensitive to. I mean, I have to have shoes on if I go outside. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't walk on sand, but when I was in high school, when we were doing track, and it was like a gravelly track, I couldn't wear running shoes. I had to wear socks,
Huh.
and I would run like a bat out of hell.
Wow.
The teachers the teachers wanted me to go on like track and field meets and whatever, and I'm like, no. They're like, but you're fast, you'd win. I'm like, no. Like, why? I said,
I was on the
going,
track team till I started smoking. Then that
I'm
killed
not.
it.
I'm not going on display for anybody. Is exactly what I said to them. That was a little weird.
Yeah, I was on the track team until I started smoking. Then that went out. Can't smoke and run at the same time.
I did.
And plus, you can't have these and run at the same time.
I
Yeah.
didn't have
Big
boobs.
chested women cannot run track.
No, they
I didn't have boobs when I ran, but I could run. Even though I smoked, I could run fast. We did the mile, and I beat the record by 3 seconds.
Put it this way: if I get on a treadmill, I have to wear at least 5 sports bras.
Oh my goodness!
Because otherwise, they'll beat me to death.
Well, I'm terrible. I'm not going to run because I'm not going to wear a bra, and I'm not going to get knocked out by my tit.
right.
Well, I'm not
It's that
gonna run
freaking
either.
simple, man.
Tell Shadow, who was it that we were talking about? We were talking about Janine, and what was the other girl's name?
Oh,
Oxlana
Ixlana
on
and
Dave.
and Dave, right? That's who we were talking about, Shadow.
I like
Whose station is it?
Well, it's
Channel.
Dave's. Isn't it
Dave,
Dave's?
Patriot Dave.
David Snedeker?
No, Patriot Dave.
Patriot
Patriot
Dave. Okay.
Janine's a card reader. Yes, it's not. It's sometimes they say it's not right, but she's good.
She's
Okay.
She's
I used to read
positive,
cards.
and she
And then-
brings the positive energy into every reading.
Yes.
Takes
I
no
used to read.
negativity.
But when I woke
And-
up, I gave all my cards away.
Yeah.
And Oksana is
She feels it or sees it
like
or
a
something.
seer.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's with
I'm
me
not
today.
really sure how to describe her because I've only watched her a couple of times.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But she seems to, when the questions are asked, she seems to get a feeling of the answer.
Yeah.
So I'd say she's channeling. That's the word I
Right.
was looking for.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I love her.
she channels.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but that feeling sense that you get in that situation is very similar to the same thing I do with dogs.
Yep.
Because I know somehow inside me what the dog is feeling or thinking or whatever.
Yeah, Mom.
And because their communication is all mental and emotional, then they pick up on mine. Hey, Gitmo,
I get Mama.
better? Hey, Gitmo, are you doing better? Gitmo, yeah, smell cat butt. That's always a good idea. That's good. That's good doggy stuff.
Gitmo.
Oh,
Oh,
he's more preoccupied by licking me. Ow! No licky face. No licky face.
Ooh, I have one that'll really lick you. It's like, oh, like you don't.
Look at it. Look at that. Look at that face.
look
And
at
she
that.
won't stop licking you until you pet her.
Oh, what a beautiful Gitmo. You've been a good boy, Gitmo. I know Mama had to be gone a long time today.
Again.
Yes.
Yes, Mama had to be gone. You give her shit.
Yeah, Mama has to earn the doggy toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has to earn those. She doesn't just pull them out of her boobs.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to watch that JP video real quick. It's not very long.
He's trying to tell you.
It's an interview.
Yeah.
He's trying to tell you something.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight we're joined by American YouTuber, comedian, life coach, and businessman, JP
Kinda
Sears.
looks like- her
JP,
hair kinda
welcome
looks
to
like
the
her
show.
father.
We're
guy.
really interested in learning about you. I want to just roll straight up to the life coach situation. First and foremost, for people that maybe are not totally familiar with you, tell me a little bit about yourself and what it is you do, because maybe some people haven't caught you on YouTube. Where can they see you? What is it that you do? And why are so many people into it?
Yeah, well, thank you for all that, Lauren. Thank you for having me on. in a word, I'm a comedian. And I like to use comedy to guide people to their God-given freedoms and to follow their heart and their own critical thinking, because I think that's pretty important. And comedy is just a tool, a language I speak to hopefully waken people up to their own brilliance and their God-given freedoms. So in a word, I'm a comedian, and I've been doing professional comedy for 7 years now, online videos, I'm on YouTube and all the platforms. My handle is Awaken with JP. Also tour, I'm constantly doing shows. But before I was doing comedy, I was a full-time life coach, helping people help themselves, in their own issues, their life dramas, helping them heal unprocessed pain, all under the life coaching umbrella. So I got to learn about the deeper workings of the human psyche during the 13 years I was doing that. Of course, doing my own self-work along the way, because that's the most important part.
Aren't we all just doing constant self-work? To me, like being a life coach, JP, I have to tell you, when I read this about you, I basically was like, you are just, it's like the epitome of success to me, because I feel like we're all, I can barely get through the day. I feel like I wake up every morning, and maybe this is like just a standard mom situation. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm going to make so much time today for things that I need to get done. Meanwhile, I'm like rushing to get the kids dressed, rushing to get them to eat breakfast, rushing so they're on time to school. Now my kids are both in school. It's 2 schools. And then it's like that the rest of the day. A life coach, I feel like you really have it figured out and together. I mean, is that how you feel? Or am I just like, should I just go ahead and go in that direction and just say, like, state it like a life coach?
I think you're completely delusional, Laura. I don't have anything remotely figured out, but I think the difference between someone who's, just scooting through in life and not working on themselves versus someone who works on themselves, the person that works on themselves, they're in chaos, but they're trying to figure it out. And I think
it's me every day.
It's a big difference. To me, I've never met a single person who's sitting up on the pedestal. They're like, oh yeah, like I don't have stress. I've got everything in order. I think if we had everything in order, life would actually be very boring. Because if you look at the nature of the universe, it's constantly expanding. And the one thing about life that never changes is the fact that everything's always changing. So I think part of feeling in balance in our life is realizing it's like we're a surfer, we're on the wave. And the wave is constantly moving, but the good surfer knows how to go with the flow, adjust their center of gravity. And it's like, fight with a spouse, like that's going to be a thing. But does that throw us off for a week? Do we have healthy communication to make the fight, resolve and we learn from it? Or does it like just progressively deteriorate us? So, it's happy dysfunction versus dysfunctional dysfunction.
Now, see, this is why you're a life coach and why I'm not. That analogy with the wave, I mean, so good. That's exactly, and that's what people need to hear. And we all need to keep that sort of thing in mind. But I feel like the way that you go about things, obviously on YouTube, you said you're kind of originally a comedian. You take a very satirical approach to your videos on life coaching and all of it. I mean, I watched one of your videos basically about like what you expect to happen when having kids versus like what really happens when you have kids. And it's basically spot on. But all of your stuff is really funny. And I don't think you generally see that approach. I mean, do you think that that's maybe why you have so many followers, why you kind of quickly became one of those people? I mean, you were kind of an original YouTuber, right?
Yeah. I appreciate that, all the compliments embedded in the question. And I think the satire, the satire is my natural form of humor. It's just what's most natural to me. And I also think the nature of satire lends itself to need to be rooted in intelligence. Whereas like by contrast, slapstick humor, it can be great, but it's more goofy rather than instant intelligence. And granted, the slapstick comedians are still all brilliant, but they're not needing to come from a place of intelligence. They're coming from goofiness. So I think that has been an appeal to people. And then honestly, what's grown my audience exponentially has been the past year and a half where I've taken a stand for freedom because it's my number one value. And started about a year and a half ago, first time in my life, freedoms of mine, my family, my loved ones, my friends, and my country have been infringed on, and people outside of our country. And I didn't know freedom was my number one value until it started getting taken away. And at the time I learned, my wife is pregnant with our firstborn son. Now he's 9 months old. It's amazing. But all of that combined, realizing I've got a child coming into the world, I'm like, I have to do everything in my power to make this world as good of a place for my son as possible. My life and other people's lives, but like you have kids, you know what's activated in you when you've got your kids coming. So, and I know I'm just one person, but I had to do everything in my power, realizing, hey, I've got a following, I've got a responsibility, and I'm, connected to my heart and soul, which is guiding me to stand for freedom, whether it's popular or not. I've got to do it. I'm willing to risk everything because I know what matters most.
Well, it's obviously, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say what matters most isn't anything anybody can take away, whether YouTube deplatforms me, all the things that are at risk or cancel culture. It's like, I've got perspective. What they can take away isn't what matters. What matters is the freedom of my family and my countrymen, because freedom is what makes life worth living. I think that's why God gives us freedom as our birthright. And freedom is what allows us to express our God-given divine nature. That's why communism, they cut people off from God, they outlaw religion, because without freedom, they can't have their divinity flowing. And if you don't have their divinity flowing, they're very easy to control. So I know freedom is what makes life worth living. So that's what I have to stand for. And that's what my comedy has become. And that's attracted a massive amount of people in my audience as of the past year and a half.
Well, I mean, you're saying you didn't know really what the response would be when you started doing that. And by the way, you're right, because they're basically the folks and the powers that be, the mainstream media and such, they would have you believe that unless you fully agree with their perspective on things, and no one in the country agrees with you, they're right about it, you're wrong about it, and you're going to get canceled if you speak out about it. But obviously that's not the case. Obviously there are many, many people, JP, who agree with exactly what you're talking about. The fact that our freedoms have been at stake. I saw the video you did. I would love people to look this one up. It's a short video. It'll only take a few minutes, but where you were like a doctor talking about COVID. And I mean, you were talking about, or the vaccine, I insinuated it to be, but you basically talk about like stabbing yourself with a knife, right? And like, that's the whole video, is you talking about how stabbing yourself with a knife is not a big deal. It's safe, totally no problem. But if you watch it, you see how ridiculous so much of what has been pushed on us is over the past, now at this point, like 8 months or so, by the government. And the problem is that there's no choice given to us. You talk in there about the fact that it's like, oh, well, you can be in a room with other people as long as they have been knifed as well. And then you can all congregate together. Otherwise, no one is going to be around you. These are things that I think we all talk about amongst ourselves and say, well, what is this? What are we doing to our country if we're able to force people essentially to take a vaccine or have a vaccine? That, by the way, if you want the vaccine, I'm all for it. I am not for forcing people to have it. But I think you really tapped in to something important there, and it is all ultimately about freedom. So what was the response when you started doing these? I mean, I don't want to call them politically kind of leaning videos, but essentially that's what they are. You must have had a big burst of an audience that kind of like discovered you, right?
Yeah, and I'll own it. They're absolutely conservative leaning videos. And I love to be a critical thinker. I'm not someone who says like, okay, what's the right think about this issue? And that's what I'll think I think. It's like, no, I got my own brain. I'll use
Common sense. Yes. Imagine that.
right now, and I wish this wasn't the case, but the reality is the right stands for freedom and the left wants to take freedoms. That's not okay with me. So when I started making the political videos and leaning absolutely conservative, it was, the spring of 2020, and of course the propaganda, so unfair propaganda against Trump and Trump supporters. Well, you're without a doubt racist, and like we're not going to tell you why, but like you just are. You better believe it. That was so hot because the election was coming up in a few months. So internally, when I was just getting going, I had a fear of like, I think this might cost me followers. I might lose my audience, but I'm not someone who gets intimidated by fear. I'm someone like, if something scares me, but I feel a heartfelt purpose of doing it, I'll do it anyway. So I did it, and it turned out to be like just phenomenal for business. My audience has never grown more because something you said, there's way more freedom loving people out there than what you see on the news. Like,
that's right. Was that your son in the background?
Yeah.
Love it.
He wanted to say hi.
Like you're at my house. I'm so happy I'm not the only one. You're right though. There are so many more people that I feel like look at what's going on right now and say, this is crazy. This is un-American. But JP, they're so scared to speak up. They're so scared to say anything.
Yeah. More speaking up as time goes on, way more than 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've got the opportunity. I travel around constantly doing stand-up comedy performances, and since the whole pandemic hit, I've been everywhere from Florida to Portland and everywhere in between. And if you go by the mainstream media's perspective, which, like, newsflash, it's not a truthful portrayal of reality, but you think like, oh, JP, you're going to Portland with conservative values and preaching messages of freedom through language of comedy, like you get kicked out of the city.
Yeah, you're gonna get just strung up. They're just gonna like run you out of town. That's it.
That's what you would think, but no, I found out I did 12 sold out shows in Portland. Oh. There's so many freedom loving people in the most liberal places. It's just they don't have the voice through the mainstream media, and many of them have taken a while to find their own voice of courage, but they're waking up because, it's scary to start voicing your perspective and standing for something when there's all the propaganda against you. But I think we're reaching at a time where people are realizing, oh, it's what will happen if I keep suppressing my voice. That's more scary than what will happen if I actually stand in my truth. So more and more people are standing in the truth. We have more to come, but we've got great momentum for Team Freedom. So we got more work to do, but I'm very optimistic.
Yeah. Did you feel like a weight was lifted off you when you finally kind of went for it and said, you know what, I'm just going to put out there what I believe, and whatever people think of it, they can cancel me. Did you ever get shut off of social media? Did they ever censor you or anything?
Yeah, I've had various pieces and videos censored. I've had warnings from YouTube. No longer do I put videos on Facebook because they told me you're on the verge of having your 3 million fan page deleted.
Wow.
So I'm certainly very cognizant of how I'm articulating my messages because, big tech has its one true narrative that it's willing to accept, but it's like that's where I can reach a lot of people, and I'm not a fan of big tech's censorship of speech or the White House's instructing Facebook what to censor. Not a fan of that, but I am a fan of reaching people. So if I need to tailor my message and share with people what I have to say in a creative way so they know what I'm really saying without me directly hitting the topic, the words that are going to get me deplatformed, then I'll do that. And I think it actually makes me a better, more creative creator.
Yeah, you have to really kind of tap dance around and figure out what words you have to stay away from, I guess. Because honestly, this video will probably get taken down because I literally talked about COVID. And I guarantee you that there will be some ramification. There'll be some reaction. There'll be something that happens. It happens pretty much every week in some respect. But you think back to the things that they were censoring, gosh, less than a year ago, like the Hunter Biden laptop story turned out to be true, turned out to be accurate. When anyone would talk about the COVID virus coming from a Wuhan lab as a possibility, off of social media, your posts taken down, censored in some way. Now we know all these things were true. So I don't know how long they can ultimately keep this sort of thing up. I think at some point people start to lose faith in their censorship and say, well, what you're censoring actually turns out to be true. So what are we doing here? But I think you said something earlier that I just want to go back to, because I think that it's a really pivotal time in the history of our country. Obviously, there's been a lot that has happened really in the past year and a half. But I think the more people start to see, especially what is going on in this country now, what we just saw happen overseas, the freedoms taken away from us here in so many places in the United States of America under the guise of COVID, an election that was certainly changed in illegal ways under the guise of COVID, as the last election was. We will also be censored for me even talking about that.
And terrorists, by the way.
Yeah, but what's that? Oh yeah, we're terrorists. We're domestic terrorists because we voted for Trump. But there are so many people, I think, that never would have guessed that they would ever consider themselves a conservative, and maybe they don't even consider themselves a conservative, but they see a party in the Democrat Party that has truly left them. It is not the party it used to be. It is truly going down the path of socialism, and you don't have to take my word for it. Just take a look around at what's going on in this country. And I just have a feeling that things are going to heavily sway back in the direction of conservatives over the next few years. And quite frankly, I think they have to. Otherwise, I don't even know if we have anything left at a certain point.
I agree. I think right now the best campaign for conservatives, and if your father-in-law runs for the office, or if it's DeSantis, but the best campaigner for conservatives right now is the Biden administration. They're absolutely, and I will happy to get us censored for this. If we have a fair election next time, the Biden administration is winning more votes for the right than the right could ever win for themselves. And I don't say that out of exaggeration. I just say that off of observation. I mean, whatever corrupt people are running this puppet of Biden, they're doing too much too fast. It's not obvious the corruption that, I used to think like the Democrats, like, cool, great people, like we need balance. But I'm also not afraid when I see a corrupt, evil takeover happening. I'm not afraid to say that. And it's obvious from my point of view, that's what's happened. And now the corruption, it's not hidden anymore. It is so obvious, justifying taking away Americans' rights over, through fear-based propaganda, relentlessly trying to scare people into giving up their rights over a virus that carries a 99.98% survival rate. And by the way, the 0.02% who do succumb to it, my heart goes out to them. And also 94% of them have comorbidities. So it's just, people aren't dumb enough to fall for it. And I know people want to be taken care of and they'll be dumb for a while, but people can only pretend they're less intelligent than they truly are for a while. And these people they're just winning a lot of favor for the conservatives right now.
It's so true. It is so true. If we have a free and fair election in 22 and 24, I mean, there's zero doubt in my mind that it will be a landslide. And by the way, we've already gone off the deep end with how this video will ultimately be censored. So let me just point out a couple of the things. I was thinking about this the other day that will get you censored if you talk about them, if you post about them. say it on national television, the whole thing, like it's a disaster. You can't talk about COVID. You can't talk about the vaccine. You can't talk about the election. You can't talk about January 6th. And now, JP, you can't even talk about the disaster that happened over in Afghanistan under Joe Biden, and the embarrassment that we as Americans now feel because of one individual and his absolutely terrible decisions. Those are all things that will get you censored. And gosh, if you break all of those things down, it is so clear that what is going on is that it is about ultimate control here. They want to control all of us. They want to give us the information as they want us to see it, not information as it should truly be given, not just the facts, and let us, as you said earlier, critically think about things and decide. So 22, 24, going to be very, very big years. And I can tell you there are a lot of people out there that are working very hard on the conservative side to reverse all of the illegally changed, basically voting rules in all across the country in various states, because things were changed illegally that should never have been changed. And I will never, you can never convince me that it did not help Joe Biden win 81 million votes.
Yeah.
If you believe that. Some people may still believe that. You also can't talk about that. They'll censor you for that. I want to get back to your life coaching though, because I am curious if there's one piece of advice that maybe you could share with our audience, maybe something that you think maybe applies to everyone that we could all use. I don't know, especially in a time like right now where it feels like things are very chaotic. We're all stressed. We're all worried about what's happening next. Any advice that you have out there for everybody?
Yeah, don't outsource your truth.
Yeah.
The ancient
Wow.
wisdom is all truth is found within. We need to follow our hearts and feel for what's true for us. And this goes back to the Buddha. I'm not pretending like I'm the one that hey, I thought of the idea, all truth is found within. And right now we're living in an age where the people who want to violate you tempt you to outsource your truth routinely. Censorship is something that teaches you to violate your sense of truth. Fact checkers treat you as you're so dumb that you can't think for yourself. I think there was even a New York Times article, if I'm not mistaken, that was speaking out against critical thinking of all things. So, truth from within. Consider outside sources, yes, but don't outsource your truth. Get it from within. And, our hearts, our souls, and if you believe in a higher power, your connection to God, that will never mislead you.
That's right. Fact
checkers, censors, the mainstream media, it's proven they not only have a track record of misleading you, but they do it on purpose and they do it often.
Yep.
So people are miraculous. People, when we're in touch with our true nature, we're good, we're kind, we're honest, and we have our hearts guiding us and our own critical thinking guiding us. And that's what we need more of. And when we connect to that, we're in a good spot.
I think so too. I totally agree with that. And you know what? I really think that, if you step back and you just step away for a moment from all of the incoming information. I mean, I wish that I could just turn off the TV and get off of the internet and get off of social media. I mean, unfortunately for what I do in my family, it's sort of tough to do that. So I'm not able to do that. But if we are an American family here in this country, and we always have been. And I talked about this the other day, but we're approaching the 20th anniversary of September 11th. And I mean, it was such an awful day. I remember, as so many people do, exactly where I was, exactly what was happening in that moment. And I remember the months following September 11th, JP, everybody in this country felt incredibly united. And I truly believe we can get back to that place. We have to stop letting people divide us. We have to remember that we are more alike than we are different. We have to remember that you know, at the end of the day, if you need help, we're going to help you as your fellow American. And that's what it's all about. And we have to just listen to our hearts. I agree with you, and listen to our guts. And we know that we're good people. We know that we're not inherently bad. We're not inherently racist. We're not anything. And I'm so sick of people who work overtime to try and divide us. We know why they do it. We know that they want to divide us because, you know, a house divided cannot stand, and that's their ultimate goal. But I really believe that we can get back to that place and that feeling that we had that really united all of us. Sadly, it was because we had a terrorist attack on American soil. But we all should remember how we felt in the months following 9/11, because I remember feeling like, you know, we're all in this together and we can do anything, and we have to get back to that place. I think we can. Do you think we can ever get back there?
Yeah, I think it's such a beautiful vision, Laura. I agree. And out of the tragedy of 9/11, part of the silver lining, the gift of that tragedy is that unification that you talked about. Because I remember as well where if you had different beliefs of people, it didn't matter. You accepted each other. It's like, cool, you believe that, I believe the opposite, and like, we're good. Arm around, yeah. Let's go have a beer together. And, you know, with my friends and family, we're close for a reason, because our relationships and our love for each other, it's not based on needing to agree with each other. It's just based on accepting each other.
Yeah.
We're never going to have a country where everybody agrees on everything. If we did,
nor would we want to live somewhere like that, right?
We wouldn't grow. So,
boring.
But I think you're right. And honestly, with Biden's incompetence in Afghanistan, I feel some of that post 9/11 unity where now it's like, hey, we're uniting on something way bigger than, you know, the left versus the right. We're uniting on what's right, caring for our fellow countrymen, doing the right thing. We see someone who's deliberately doing the wrong thing, putting our own citizens and our allies right under the bus in the most horrendous way, and we're uniting over that. It's a tragedy what's happening, and I do feel like we're actually getting more united over that. And
I agree.
Jim is right. I think that can grow.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And as you were talking, I was just remembering, if people remember this, there are photos from September 11th, 2001, where tragically there was ash falling all over the people in the streets of New York, police officers, firefighters, people that worked in the buildings. Everyone was covered in gray ash. You couldn't see, you know, the color of anyone's skin. You could barely tell, you know, what people looked like at all. Everybody was just the same. And that's really how I believe most people see one another in this country. I don't think they look at each other and see each other for, you know, their sexual orientation, for the color of their skin, for their religion. People don't ultimately care. If you're a nice person, then I want to be friends with you. And I think that we all really feel that way deep down, and somehow we're getting manipulated, at least some people are, into believing differently. So I have to ask you this. I ask everybody, what do you think is the best part of America? What do you think, JP, is the biggest threat to the future of our country?
Well, starting with that part, I think the biggest threat to the future of our country is fear. You know, I think fear is the only way that corrupt people can control the masses. Yeah. And you see people getting hypnotized with fear 24 hours a day through the mainstream media. Large percentage of it is just fear-based stuff, usually not even based in truth. So fear is what will get intelligent people to behave like morons that turn against each other. They have to be afraid to do that. So I think fear is the biggest threat to our country. But I think the best value, the best thing about Americans is bravery. I mean, that's what our country's founded on. Yeah. When we're bravery, we're not just serving each other. I think we're serving God. People are willing to be brave, risk their life, because they're standing for something bigger than their life. They're standing for God and countrymen and their fellow humans. So, you know, when people are brave, they're not controllable. That's why the brave people in our armed forces, they're willing to die in the name of freedom. because they're brave and they know that freedom is bigger than just their own self. So brave people can't be controlled, and enough brave people united can 100% not be stopped. And we live in the bravest country on earth. And there's some sheep in our country. There's some fear-based people in our country. I've been there. The cool thing is, if you're living under fear right now, you have a choice in any given moment to live in fear or live in bravery. The choice is yours. And no matter how brave you are, that takes you to freedom. If you have a little bit of bravery or living in fear, but if you become more brave, you're living in freedom. So we're inherently born and bred in bravery. And right now we're really remembering our true nature of bravery as a country. So I'm optimistic. We still have a lot more awakening of our bravery to do, but that's what I love most about America and what I think is going to see us through this dark, challenging time.
Yeah, gosh. And I certainly hope so. So where can people find you next? What do you have going on? Are you touring? Any new videos? What can we expect from you?
Yeah, well, I love a good shameless self-promotion, Laura.
Let's do it.
Best place to find me on my website is awakenwithjp.com. I certainly post my videos there, my tour schedule. I'm always touring. It's there. I've got some freedom merch if that appeals to people. And I'm publishing a minimum of 2 new videos every week. And
oh, wow.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Awaken with JP, and I'm on all the things, Rumble, Instagram. But my website is the central point, awakenwithjp.com.
Love it. Love it. Well, JP Sears, thank you for coming on The Right View tonight. We're so happy to have heard from you. I think let's get brave in this country. To your point, let's get through this. I know we can push through this time. I think a lot of people, maybe they need to just go check out a couple of your videos, get inspired, remind themselves why this is the greatest country in the world and why they should not be sheep. So JP Sears, thanks for joining us. And as always, to everybody at home, thank you so much for joining us right here on The Right View. We'll see you back here next time.
This is bizarre. Get out. Hey. Hey. Wake up. Get up. Out. I said get out. And I meant it. Why do you guys have to be a jerk about this? Huh? Now get in.
Sorry, my mouse got locked. There.
Weirdo?
You calling me a weirdo? I'll wear it. I'm a weirdo. Emma's a weirdo.
Freak. Today you are. My dog's a freak today. I mean, he's just been like, not like he's usually.
Animals are sensing something's coming.
I mean, he's just been all over the place and follows me. Tore up his kennel and drug everything out and onto the floor and
Get Mo. Get Mo. It's okay. She's not yelling at you. Get Mo.
Could you hear me?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And he has a kennel, and it's actually a breeder's kennel, so it's a little bit bigger than, a normal kennel, and it's not small, and it's on rollers, and so he has a huge kennel in my room. And
If a dog is misbehaving like that suddenly and not for any reason, start looking for outside sources. Check to see if the dog could have gotten into something poisonous. Check to see if you might be getting an earthquake sometime soon. Check and see if the dog is ill. They don't do that for no reason.
He's just acting weird today.
He doesn't do that for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he's doing it for a reason. Everybody's acting really weird today. We got a really bad thunderstorm going on, and
There you go.
no rain.
Yep. That'll do it.
Yeah.
I want you to play that one, Angel. Everybody
What
has
one?
the Fauci one.
Oh.
The what?
Fuki. The Fuki.
Spooky.
Fuki.
You're not going to believe this, ladies. You are not going to believe this.
Oh, is that the one you were talking about earlier? I don't have to look it up then.
No, it's in chat. Private chat.
Cancel.
Oh.
But
So that's different than the one that you were talking about. The Patriot Dave.
oh no, it's different.
Okay.
It's absolutely infuriating.
Oh, infuriating.
Yes.
There you go. This from Osler. Dr. Fuki is getting his own National Geographic documentary.
Oh.
He is portrayed as the hero of the United States. Release date September 10th, one day before 9/11.
Thinking that you're something that you're not.
What a joke.
When I think about my dad growing up, I certainly think about that seriousness and wanting to do the right thing. At the same time, very few people get to see him. He's funny, weird, and really playful.
You can't take everything seriously because then you start thinking that you're something that you're not. I love clinical medicine. The idea of discovery and having an impact on people. That's what really captured me. I grew up in a somewhat tough neighborhood in Brooklyn. The culture is that you didn't get intimidated by a lot of things. When someone attacks, I don't immediately fight back. It's nothing personal, it's strictly business. You got sick, you were gone fast. It was so frustrating when you're used to fixing things and you're just not really fixing anything.
It's affecting you now.
Yeah.
Why?
Post-traumatic stress syndrome. When COVID hit, he became this target.
My dad said, we're going to get through this whole thing. And he's held that.
We're seeing upticks again, and nobody's hearing from you.
I don't understand the hate that people have.
These people are really, really getting bad. I mean, they're harassing my daughters constantly, which bothers me more than anything else.
We heard about what he went through in the HIV/AIDS pandemic, like seeing signs, Fauci's a murderer. And I remember asking him, is this actually what it was like? His response is, you can't even compare the two. This is so beyond the beyond.
Fauci says, here are the facts, and here's my recommendation for a way forward.
He becomes the size of the challenge he faces each time.
If you're a public servant, you don't do it because you want to make money. You don't do it for the glory. You do it because you care.
When you're involved in a race to stop a horrible disease, you always feel you're not doing things quickly enough.
Yada, 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 yada.
Can you believe
Gaslighting.
Huh?
His whole family's gaslit.
Oh yeah, they're beyond hope. The whole
And
family.
fake tears, fake tears, fake tears.
My dad, nobody understands him. You're right.
We've been so rich and no understand.
Yeah, he grew up with no money, so he understands that. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. I grew up with no money.
I don't see any resemblance between him and those kids either.
Yeah.
And she don't look very happy. Does she look like a happily married wife?
God, she looks like a 1928 Polish immigrant.
Male version.
A what?
A male version.
Oh, I didn't think about that, but she looks
Nothing is connected. No.
She just
speaker, no headphones, no.
oh,
hot
Silver
band.
Girl, whatever's happening to you is weird.
I have no clue what it is.
You must have a green screen on or something because it just
She
cuts
does.
into pieces.
I do. I can take it off. It does it even when I take it off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No device is connected.
There I am.
Yep. I like your butterflies.
You like that better?
Yeah, you're not breaking up into 1,000 pieces, and
It may start doing that. It was doing it before, so we'll see.
How's your ginger beer?
looks like a strobe.
It's good?
It's good. Settled my stomach.
Ooh, ginger beer would be good. Right
I
about
like
now.
ginger beer. We used to drink it. Me and my ex would drink ginger beer. The Jamaican ginger beer. It's really good.
This is not the strongest one that Reed has. It's the next to the strongest one. That's all Shirley can find my aide can find right now. But it's the one thing I consume that my all my doctors all say, "Oh, fantastic!" It's all
Yeah.
and I like it. And it's harder than hell to find out here on this little sandbar.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to find anywhere. You know, it's not a
Yeah.
staple.
Oh, this other one is it's the second one in there that says vacation.
Yeah.
It's short. It's just cute. It's what's coming, but it's cute.
The by Robo?
Robot.
Oh.
This little doggy walking down the hallway. It looks like a dorm or something. And he keeps going in to give the vacation to people.
Okay.
It's just kind of
Yeah,
cute.
sometimes when you charge your phone, it knocks out your camera and your speakers.
What?
Talking to Vicky.
Oh,
She couldn't hop up because it kept saying no device is connected.
Who, me or Vicky?
Vicky. Vicky. No, cancel. Let's see. Why is this not working? Hold on. It's me that's not working, or it's the computer not working?
Oh,
There we go.
I didn't
Back
have
up.
space in there, but maybe it'll work.
Let me share.
Mm.
I saw that thing today. I was, like I said, we were on the phone, and I couldn't believe Fauci was getting, like, of all people.
Hmm?
That's it. He must have dialed on his phone. Come give me the Jabberwocky.
Yeah. I like your name. Love thy neighbor.
Yeah. I said, let me try it just because people
Yeah.
should love your neighbors.
Yeah. Let's see what the Real Weekend Warriors got up on his sleeve. I like him.
Yeah.
Which one is that? 2 or 3?
Huh?
Which one is that? 2 or 3?
3.
Okay.
Should I play 2?
There is a 2, but I thought you showed. Did you just show 1 the other night?
Yeah, I just showed 1 the other night.
Okay, there is a 2. Let me go get it.
Look at those.
Is this at 9/11 at the Pentagon?
Yeah.
Yeah, where there was no airplane.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, now there's a 4.
Ah.
He's doing one. Wait a minute. This takes a little bit of thought. Hang on.
9/11.
Okay.
What?
There's a part 3 and a part 2. Do you want 2? I can get 2. Hang on.
Well, where's part 1? Is it gone?
It the other night.
Huh?
Yeah, I showed part 1 the other night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one's already been here. Okay, here's part 2.
We'll pause this one, and then we'll do part 2, and then we'll do part 3.
Yeah, here's part 2 on the last one on the private chat. With
Right.
just the link.
Oh, I'll have to go back and watch part 1 sometime.
They're on bits.
Yeah, I wasn't.
They were showing a lot of it is repeat of him when he was having that class.
Yeah, it just started.
When he was reading the book upside down.
Yeah. Well, some of the narrative on this is excruciatingly painful. Or maybe it's 3.
I can't stand his teacher.
No, I mean, what said?
Look at, hold on. Watch this. You see a plane? Nope.
Mm-mm.
The Central Intelligence Agency planned attacks.
Now
on
you
buildings
do.
inside
No,
the
you
US.
gotta listen to him. Listen to what he's saying.
Agency have been instructed to ensure that the explosives went off at a point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from escaping.
Plane came in and hit the World Trade Center from the other side. So this is obviously what would seem to be, and again, I'm just speculating, but it would seem like there is a concerted attack against one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
With knives or box cutters, that flight attendants have been injured or killed, that people have stormed the cockpit. We also learned that on one of the flights, the American Airlines flight that went into...
I can't hear anyone.
It's really low. What Bush says at the very beginning when he's talking is just...
Yeah, we'll just watch. Because he's playing music.
Well, he says blow up.
No, he's not playing music. He's talking. It's part of the video is talking. You need to hear what's said.
I know. He's playing music.
That's not music.
That's music.
It's news. Somebody's talking about it. But what Bush says is what's so unbelievable.
He already said it.
Okay, so what did he say?
He
said the explosives. Let me go back to it.
It says the CIA put the explosives so that.
Yeah, he said explode. He said it exploded.
CIA did it. Is what he said.
Yeah.
Listen to him when the school shit's over.
Right here.
The Central Intelligence Agency planned attacks on buildings inside the U.S. The Central Intelligence Agency have been instructed to ensure that the explosives went off at a point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from escaping.
Plane came in and hit the World Trade Center from the other side. So this is
They
obviously
didn't
what
want
would
anybody
seem to be,
escaping.
again, I'm just speculating, but it would seem like there is a
No.
concerted attack against one of the
Add the music because it's music, and I'll get nabbed. So they are playing music.
It may be music in the background, but they're talking.
But you can't hear the talking because of the music. I can't even hear the talking. We're just watching the footage. So
Well, how in the world did they get that CIG on there to the point that everyone in the country saw an airplane? That's what I don't understand.
Blue Beam.
It's like a David Copperfield thing,
Operation Blue Beam. It's a CGI that they can use because the firmament.
Well,
Just like when they show, alien spacecraft in the air. It's not real. It's just it's a hologram.
yeah. Well, after it happened, I found all kinds of information about how there were people up in the top there where it was empty, and they were packing all kinds of explosives
Yeah,
into
this is too.
the walls.
Right.
See, look, that looks so real.
But they wanted it to make it look real.
Yeah, well, it does. And it did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not convinced that it isn't. I've not seen anything yet that's convinced me that it was no airplanes at all.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you look back in the 1930s or 40s, there was a 747 hit the Eiffel Tower, and all it did was put a hole in the side of the building. It didn't knock it down. It
I
didn't
didn't
burn
say it didn't have
anything.
explosives. I said I did not see it. I haven't seen anything to convince me there was not at least one airplane involved. I do agree 1,000% that it was brought down with explosives.
yeah,
Yes, it was designed to withstand anything. It's molten steel. I mean, a bird can take a plane down.
What I'm saying is that it's not necessary. The explosives are definitely there. The Israelis did it. It's all real planes. I'm just not sure they didn't do another one. They did.
I mean, if you look right there, they show you the plane disappeared. Watch.
No,
Before it
I
even hit the building. Watch this. It disappeared.
don't agree. I don't agree. That's all I'm saying is I don't agree. I'm not 100% sure that it did not include a pilot like the other pilot that went into the ocean because he was MK Ultra. And I'm not sure there wasn't at least one airplane. May not have been, but I think there was, or at least no, I'm not convinced there wasn't at least one airplane.
There is no plane. No plane.
And I'm 100% sure that it was brought down by explosives.
well,
Not
there
there.
were no airplane parts found in the debris when they went through the debris to to retrieve all of the human parts and all of that kind of stuff. There was no plane parts at all. Zero.
At the Pentagon, at 9/11, or anything.
No. No plane in Pennsylvania and no plane at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not convinced. That's all.
Supergirl. She's so funny.
No, I'm just
He just
not.
likes to rock the water. I mean, it's all CGI. It is so CGI. It's not even funny. There was people on the ground saying they never even seen a plane.
And they talk about the explosions. I agree. All of that I agree with. I just said I'm not convinced.
Bush just told you right there. With the CIA did it where.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You're not
Look at all that money falling to the ground.
I just don't agree that it was no airplane at all because I haven't seen enough yet to convince me of it. That's all.
I'm not arguing with you. You can agree to disagree, but I know for a fact it's CGI. I've actually I've slow mode it down to where you watch it disappear. It's like it doesn't go into it. It just, it's not like a wreckage. It's like it goes into it like it's cutting through butter. No plane is going to do that.
They said no
plane's
plane
gonna hit something. It's gonna really, it's gonna fall to the ground or something like that. It's not gonna just disappear.
Well, they said a plane that was flying that low at that speed could not have done that kind of damage.
Right. Right. That is a missile right there. Even you admit that, Silver Girl.
Oh yeah, that missile Pentagon, no question.
And then the one out in the field where there's the only thing they found in that field was an ID of a terrorist. No body parts, no parts of planes, no engines, no nothing. See, it just disappears. It's like a magic. Magic.
Why is that not doing that?
Well, and then there was the big lawsuit from the guy that owned the land in Pennsylvania. He did not want a monument put on his land because he knew that there was no plane and there was no people. There
Right.
was, there was nothing there. And I don't know how they must have paid him off or something.
They did.
Or threatened him. I don't know. I don't know which, maybe both. But he did not want a monument with 1,000 billion people on his land and a road going to it, because it really in the beginning had no access to that land. You know what got me was the cell phone call. Let's roll. At that time you couldn't even get your cell phone to work 2 blocks away, and he ended up using his cell phone to call his wife from a plane. Now, maybe if he would have gone through, where the pilots talk, and then gone through the tower, the flight tower, he could have talked to his wife, but not from his cell phone on that plane.
Just like in 1970s when they called the White House from the moon.
Yeah.
On the landline.
Yeah.
Not possible. Impossible. Impossible.
I think it was 107 who said on one of the videos that they made recently of the astronauts being up in space that there was a fly in there, and it was walking around.
Yeah, there's no flies in space.
Yeah.
Space fly.
And they didn't catch it before they didn't catch it when they were viewing
the IDs.
Whoever
the hijackers' IDs survived, but none of the planes survived.
Yeah. Right.
Here's a driver's license. Not burned, not seared, not nothing. That's the only thing you find in a big pit. Where did those people go? Underground?
I'm convinced that all you're saying is true. I just not convinced it's just no planes.
I didn't say there wasn't planes. I just don't think the planes were used the way that they say they were used. I think they were disappeared, and they took the planes and the people, and they went underground.
That's what I think too.
I mean, that is a free fall speed. That was a planned demolition.
Oh heavens, yes.
So what are you saying? No one died in 9/11?
No. The people died. I'm just saying the people that they said were on the planes, I don't think they were on the planes.
Oh, no.
They were down below.
They'd already been removed and taken to the dumps.
Yeah.
Or Gitmo. Nah, not you, Gitmo. Gitmo hopped up going, what?
No, I would think that they would have to destroy them, because
they could have erased their memories. They could have done that. They could be underground being slaves.
Yeah, that's true.
All of that stuff could happen underground for adults, because there are adults that were underground.
Yeah.
Just like the people with the Challenger, the shuttle that exploded.
Yeah.
Those people never died. They are still alive. They never even changed their name. They're still alive. There's pictures of them. It never exploded. It was all shock and awe. It was all just I don't know why they did it, but they did it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's no reason for that I can think of to do that.
Well, Krista never returned to New England under her
Yeah.
own. I'll tell you, did not return to New Hampshire.
No, but she still has. She never changed her name. She just changed where she lived.
And I know somebody who went to the funeral, but she didn't return to New Hampshire. It's too small.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're still alive.
Unless they died of natural causes since.
Let me see.
Just man, everybody tried to work their way out. A lot of people trapped inside and everything. Navy Yard across from Brooklyn. We watched the first explosion. As we're watching the buildings, I saw a black, very large airplane fly right into the second building. Came out of the south, right in front of our eyes. Just, it was so surreal, like a movie set.
Like a movie set.
We were in the building for the third one collapse, and I was on this drive here for the other one.
People don't understand. There may be more. Any one of these fucking buildings can blow up. This ain't done yet.
This is on top of this. This couldn't be no worse than this.
Blow up.
Nothing no more is worse than this. You're in the building trying to help people, and it's exploding on the inside the building. So I don't think it'll get any worse than this.
Along with thousands of other New Yorkers, Victoria was in the North Tower at 8:46 a.m. when a Boeing 747 smashed into the building 30 stories above.
There's no volume.
Well, Trump was one of the first people that was on site after that happened, and he said right away that it was a demolition. There's no way that those buildings could have come down like they did without it being a planned demolition.
Yeah, because it was designed to take hits from anything.
Yep.
Earthquakes, everything. It was designed to withstand everything.
Yep.
So,
well, except for what happened.
Well, the narrative does not explain logically.
At 9:59 a.m.
That's why we all question it, because it doesn't make any logical sense. That's free.
It shouldn't have. The only way it could come down exactly like it did is with a planned demolition.
Right.
The street covered in ash.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to hit that tower really low for it to even consider collapsing.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't go straight free fall speed down. It would be like falling over. You know?
Right. And there's certain things they have to do absolutely correctly to get it to come straight down.
Skyline to change forever. At 10:29 a.m. the North Tower fell to the ground.
And all the people that have been poisoned and all the birth defects after all that stuff got into their lungs. All the firefighters have had
Americans.
Their children have like birth
He told us
defects
the
and
operatives had
stuff.
been instructed to ensure that the explosives went off at a point that was high enough to prevent people trapped above from
Look
escaping.
at that. That's a demolition right there.
Yep. Yeah. You have to turn the music off, otherwise I get nabbed. Nabbed. They don't like it when I play music. Shofar is ready. I got my shofar. Got my shofar.
There should be a whole lot of stuff on TV, being that it's the 20th anniversary. There should be a lot more than just ringing bells and saying names this year.
Yeah.
Our revised the movies now too.
Yeah, they're on TV. I just turned my TV off because I usually have it on just a movie channel,
Oh
but
my goodness.
they're showing all kinds of 9/11 movies
In the morning.
now.
Well, on 9/11 itself, there's a special broadcast on the internet, providing it's up.
On what?
David Icke, or whatever his name is. Dr. Gamble with David Icke and Richard Gage on 9/11.
Oh, I'm talking about Hollywood movies that they made. There's all kinds of stuff about 9/11 to just, set people's mind that it was the Taliban, the ISIS, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And China just went into diplomatic relationships with the ISIS and Afghanistan.
I forgot to read the Patriot Almanac. While we're watching this, I'll read. It's not too long. So September 2nd, the youngest pilot in the Navy. On September 2nd, 1944, George Hubert Walker Bush, the youngest pilot then serving in the U.S. Navy, climbed into a TBM Avenger torpedo bomber, catapulted off the deck of the carrier San Jarriets, and headed towards Shijima, Japanese island, 600 miles south of Tokyo. With him rode two crewmen, radio man Jack Delaney and gunnery officer Ted White. Their target, a Japanese radio installation. As Bush drove towards the station, black splotches of anti-aircraft were floating around the Avenger. Suddenly, there was a jolt. A massive pisthead crunched into the belly of the plane, he later wrote. Smoke poured out of the cockpit. I could see flames rippling across the wing, edging towards the fuel tanks. He managed to unload his bombs on the target, head the Avenger to the sea, yelling for his crewmate to bail out. As the aircraft lost altitude, Bush jumped as well, colliding with the plane's tail on the way. He landed bleeding but alive in the water. Delaney and White did not survive. One's parachute failed to open and the other never made it out of the plane. Bush climbed to life as a Japanese boat sped towards him. U.S. fighter planes drove them back, but the currents pushed the raft toward Chichai-Juna, where unbeknownst to Bush, the Japanese had executed and cannibalized American POWs. Using his hands, Bush paddled furiously against the tide. A few hours later, a periscope braked the water surface following the hull of the sub USS Fairbank. Within minutes, the downed pilot was safely aboard. The Navy sent Bush to Hawaii to rest and recovery, but he did not sit still while the war raged, especially when he thought of his lost comrades. The future president cut short his leave and headed back to San Jacinto to finish out his tour of duty. In American history, 1789, the U.S. Treasury Department is established. 1864, Union General William T. Sherman forces occupy Atlanta. In 1935, the Labor Day hurricane slams the Florida Keys, killing more than 400 people. 1944, Navy pilot George H.W. Bush, the 41st U.S. president, is shot down and rescued the Pacific. In 1945, Japan formally surrenders about the USS Missouri and Tokyo Bay, ending World War II. So, there we go.
The only way they could win that war was to use the nukes.
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't win that war.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
No,
but in their minds, they did. In Americans' minds, we did. In Americans' minds, we've won every war except Vietnam.
We didn't win World War II. The Germans did.
Yeah, I know, but that's not what Americans believe.
Well, that's what they're taught in the indoctrination school.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
See, look, that does not even look like an airplane went into it.
Nope. And it's like when you watch the Trump casino that they demolished because it sat empty in Vegas for so long.
Hmm?
I mean, a normal demolition, and it fell free fall speed just like that did. It looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
My staff were saying it looked like a demolition job the day after.
Yeah.
It looked like it from day one. And it's always looked like a demolition. It's always been a demolition for both it and the Pentagon. I had forgotten the part about Tripp and his lost money.
Yeah.
That I
And
had.
the fact that we were supposed to have Nisara Jasara declared that day, and we were supposed to get all of our money.
Well,
That
I was
never happened.
Rumsfeld. Rumsfeld had just lost all that money in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And the missile hit the financial section of the Pentagon.
Yeah, where all of our bonds that was supposed to get us out of servitude was kept at.
If you go back into who actually owned that building, who insured it, and you start digging there, it gets real nasty and really interesting.
Yeah.
Who actually owned the building, who lost what, who insured it, who made how much
All the money.
with it coming down. And I mean, they made out like bandits with the insurance on that building.
Good night, Tab. I love you, darling.
And the insurance company was all in on it.
Prayers, darling.
I'm tired.
I mean,
Good night. Good night, Tabitha.
I just think it's sick that all these people, have died from cancer and health issues, and their kids that are being born with birth defects and everything like that. And here they are worried about some stupid pandemic.
No, they're not worried about the pandemic.
Yeah. And then if you look at the beams here, they're seared straight down, like it was cut with a laser or a torch.
Yeah.
The thing was rigged to blow.
Along with 7.
Yeah.
Well, the Bushes were in on it with they said at least I think when I read it, it's been quite some time, at least 5 other countries were in on it with the Bushes.
Yeah. I mean, Trump was like the first one on the scene.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
Yeah, him and Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi was used to be a firefighter, and he donated a lot of his time to search and rescue, and he didn't let anybody. He didn't do it with any publicity. He did it with he said he donated time, money, anything he could possibly give because he was trying to rescue. Because he was a firefighter. He may be he might be on the bad side, but that's pretty a stand up move right there.
My next door neighbor went down as a fire. He was the assistant fire chief, and he went down and spent months.
Are you snoring, Giggles?
Yes, he is. But it's not Ace. It's usually Ace, but he's not snoring.
Is that Giggle snoring?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yep. She is out like a light.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that crap too. I mean, I was at work making American flag shirts and never forget and photoshopping pictures of the towers with the American flag behind it and 9/11 and all that stuff, and my friend, she got a bunch of crap because she's Turkish. People telling her, "How dare you be here?" And she's like, "I love America. I'm Turkish. I'm not Arab. You
Yeah.
know, I'm Turkish. And she's like, "I'm Asian."
Yeah.
She's Mongolian, actually. And believe me, her ex husband, you said anything. The good way to get him to fight is talk bad about his mother, talk bad about his girlfriend, and talk bad about his country. He will. Those are fighting words where he is.
Believe in Rosh Hashanah starts at sundown on September 6th. Get your shofars ready. What is that?
A shofar.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's a horn.
It's what?
It's a horn. It's a ram's horn.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I've
See right
seen.
here. Do you see it?
Yeah.
It's I'm gonna just pull a little bit. I have to get my fingers.
What does it have anything to do with?
I'm not really good at it yet, but
Get Mo. Stop her.
you have to blow it like an elephant, like that.
I remember people coming out of that building that couldn't even see because their eyes were so full of crap. And people were taking bottled water and trying to wash their eyes out.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
They can't see.
They can't see.
A lot of them have been blinded by it. Completely. Never got their eyesight back.
A lot of them just died.
Yeah. From the inhalation.
Yep.
There's let's go back here. The Real Weekend Warrior. He's on BitChute. He is amazing. He does the best memes and stuff. We just did part 2, so we'll do part 3.
And now part 4 is the one he just put out less than an hour ago.
Yeah, he's a busy guy. He's a very busy guy. As I said, he does his homework.
Well, they're only like 20 minutes a piece. You might as well get 4 because I have a hunch there's going to be 5.
He does do his homework, though. I have to give him that. So.
And this one has voiceover.
Yeah.
The other one had voiceover that you just played silent.
Yeah, this one's got music. So.
At least at the beginning.
Now, $2.3 trillion were missing.
Forgotten all about.
Pentagon operating budget. Hours later, the Naval Accounting Office in the Pentagon was demolished.
Yep.
And then right here, this is April 3rd, 1967.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Rockefeller. You look at his watch, it says 9/11.
Ah, okay.
On his watch, it's 9/11. 9/11.
I'll be damned.
Mm-hmm.
In 1967.
The year I was born. What gives a Triton a taste worth fighting for? Look at the towers. Hit by a bird. Look at that. That's what birds do to a plane.
Yeah. So imagine if a plane hit a building, the plane would just kind of disappear. It would just like, you know.
It'd be shredded. It'd
Yeah.
just fall to the ground. It wouldn't do
Yeah.
any damage.
Wouldn't be able to go through a building like that with those steel girders.
No. Like my building 7 going down for no reason. That's a conspiracy theory reference that 9 out of 11 people don't get it. It's an inside joke. I like my women. The awkward moment when the BBC reports the demolition of World Trade Center 7, 26 minutes before it actually happens. It was
Yeah.
still up and she reported it.
Yeah.
Not down. A little too early, darling. That's where all the Nasara stuff was kept. That's why that went down.
Well, there's a whole bunch of information in Oklahoma. That Oklahoma bombing was on purpose. It wasn't Timothy McVeigh who was all pissed off about David Koresh. That was all made up.
Right.
It's all bullshit.
Go with a fake and all that too.
Yep, it's all bullshit.
Everything's a lie.
Yeah. So I said I don't believe anybody anymore in the government or the news or nothing.
The guy that owned the towers.
Yeah.
Talking about his insurance plan.
Yep.
Made $4.55 billion.
Yep.
And the dude with the watch and his entire family didn't bother to work that day.
Yep. The lucky Larry.
Mm-hmm. A doctor's appointment.
That got canceled.
Silverstein. Jewish, maybe?
Possibly.
Schmeckles.
Large insurance policy on his World Trade Centers. Yeah. Weeks prior to the attacks.
Nothing to see here. I'm gonna mute giggles. Her snoring has put me sleeping.
Lucky bastard, it says. Yeah, so I said when you really get into that insurance scam, it goes much deeper than just Lucky Larry.
Yep.
But a lot of that information has been scrubbed.
I don't even know if they unless people got that information, downloaded it to their own computers and that kind of stuff. I bet that a lot of that stuff doesn't even
Right here. See?
What?
See that plane? Look. Okay, I'm gonna go back to it.
I seen that.
Where hold on. This right here says the ground swallowed the flight 93, the plane right there. See, it's not going. It's a optical illusion. It's CGI. It's not breaking apart. It's not doing anything. It's even got a focal point, which is that orange little dot right there. That's where it's gonna hit. I mean, no plane does that.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't break apart. Look, you can even see the tail at the end. No explosion. It's
Well,
just an optical illusion.
Well, everything exploded outwards too. I mean, it went in the wrong direction.
But I mean, a plane would not do that though.
Right. For it to be a plane, the way it just went in the wrong direction. But for an explosion, for a demolition, it all came out properly.
And that was a United flight. Where's the United markings? There's no black United planes. Right?
Not that I'm aware of or was aware of then.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who was a stew at that time, whose best friend was on one of those flights,
No.
also said that telephone call to the on the stew's phone did not work either.
Yeah.
No, what'd you say, Silver Girl?
There was another phone call from one of the stews on the airplane phone, and it would have not gone through either. He said that was a bullshit.
Yes.
But the person that supposedly made that call was her best friend. And my friend was in the air when it happened.
See, this just goes right in like it's butter. Planes don't do that. Not through molten steel. I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe that they haven't shown these pictures on TV.
No, it didn't fit their narrative.
Who's going to show it?
Well, I know. I don't know. OAN.
Everybody really expected Fox to come and Tucker and all of them to stand up at that time, and they didn't. And Dave's story about Tucker is just nerve-wracking.
Yeah, well, I can guarantee you Tucker knows all about this.
Oh, yeah. Dave has a whole rant he does on Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
I have a rant about Tucker.
Is it Angel? Was it you or Silver Girl or somebody that said that they didn't believe Robert David Steele was dead?
That was Vicky.
Vicky? Okay.
And Giggles.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead either, and I'll tell you why. Maybe I already said. Months before he went on his little caravan, he was cleaning out his apartment or his house or wherever him and his wife lived, and you saw things leaving. And when he was doing his last lives before he left, there were only a few items left in his home, a few books and a lamp, and that was just about it. The one thing that he never did, and it bugged me, was he never said where he was going. He just said he was leaving. That's all he said. Didn't say I'm moving. He said I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Does he have kids? Anybody know?
I don't know if he does or not.
I know he's married, but that's about
it.
it.
Well, and it's not his first wife either. I think he's had 2 or 3.
Because I never heard him mention it. But on the other hand, because of what he did in the past, you don't do that. I mean, who goes around talking about when they worked at the CIA? I have a second cousin married to one, and I happen to know that's what he is.
That's the thing that hit the Pentagon right there.
Right there. Look at the Delphi airplane logo on it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I think David Robert Steele was talking because he was supposed to. He was told to.
I do too.
I think I think he was told to do exactly that because it was a way to release information in a second party, third party.
That's what I.
They're not gonna be looking for him.
No, but the bad guys are.
Open source everything, so
Yeah, I saw a missile hitting the Pentagon, not a plane. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
man.
Well, my husband was in the Air Force then, and he used to go to the Pentagon. And probably about a month after that happened, he had to go to the Pentagon, and he was gone for almost the entire week. And when he came back, all he said was because it would investigate plane crashes,
Right.
and all he said was no plane pieces. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Couldn't find any plane pieces.
Oh no, there was no plane there.
No.
Fuselage, no engines, no nothing.
But I like you said, where are the people that were supposed to be on those planes? And I do believe they went underground, and there's slaves down there. But I also believe they could have taken them anywhere if they erased their memory.
I have two friends who work for the CIA. Right now, they live in Korea. They left the U.S.
They probably didn't want to be involved in all this.
Well, they're not a fan of Trump either, so I'll put it that way.
I wonder if your friends are dirty.
I don't think so.
About some of the people I worked with, I tell you.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised because I've known him since he was 15. But if he is, it wasn't voluntary. I think they MK Ultra'd him.
He's not a fan of Trump?
No.
You guys need to go back and watch this because it's obviously got narration to it, not just music. The other one did too. But yeah, I don't know that I have been doing some serious thinking after being contacted by one of my cohorts as to whether or not some people that we were friendly with outside the office, outside of work, were bad. And he thinks so. And I hadn't thought about it, but the more I think about it, I think he's right. I think they're dirtier than hell.
Yeah.
Especially some of the attorneys I worked with in Social Security.
Larry.
Do you know how hard it's? The first question everybody's going to have, bye-bye, Building 7. Bye-bye, Building 7.
Mm-hmm.
My counterpart worked the next building over in New York.
And Larry had that insured too, by the way.
Yeah.
She got out, but
look at that. Look at that. Flashes.
It's hard for me to believe there's still people who believe Building 7 went down because of the attack.
Yeah, I know.
That was still hard for me because you could see the explosions.
Well, and how far away was it?
A block.
I think it was more. It was more than a block.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if that. It was kitty cornered away. In other words, it was a block this way and then a block that way kind of thing. North versus east. You remember the plane that in DC that landed on the bridge? And some of the passengers went in the river?
Yeah.
My cousin was in a car that it landed on. And I knew it that night because she had long, long blonde hair and her hair was sticking out the window. But she was okay. She and hubby ducked down below the level of the roof of the car, and they had to be cut out, but they were fine. They saw it coming.
I missed that one. When was that?
Oh Lord. In the 80s, I think.
Well, see, I didn't watch TV in the 80s at all.
Hello. Good morning.
Giggle to the mic.
Huh?
I
You
think
fell asleep for a while.
It's locking up on me.
Huh?
So my camera, the thing is locking up or something on here, like freezing.
I said you fell asleep earlier.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard you snoring.
And one day,
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I've done it. I've done it on prepping. Yeah. It's been a draining day.
Look how black that smoke is.
Yeah.
That's I don't remember seeing that black smoke at the time.
It was, to me, all I remember is it being white. I don't remember it being black like that.
That black.
I don't either.
It's got to be.
It.
Well, it may be an angle too. They may be facing the direction of what most of them are.
Right.
The church spire is normally right in front of the building as you're looking at it. And see there, it doesn't look black.
Right. Great.
I think it's a different angle or something.
Or they're just manipulating it. Or it's all a movie.
Did he just backtrack that or not? Yeah.
Well, to me, it's all planned deaths. They didn't care. They didn't care who died in 9/11.
Nope.
Well,
high building.
Straight lower than the buildings. Land in Seattle sometime.
Yep.
Land in Seattle, you take your life in your hands every day. You land below the level of the buildings. It looks like you're on street level. I was standing in the hotel room and could see the pilot's white shirt, and the color is tie.
That's the way it is in San Diego too.
Oh, I remember landing in San Diego. It wasn't nearly as bad. It didn't scare me like Seattle.
Yeah. Seattle's bad. San Diego's bad, and so is West Virginia. I'm trying to think where my friend's mom lived, and I had to take off. I was scared to death. That plane almost had to go straight up in the air to make it.
Boston, you come in and take off over the water, and it just looks like you're going to ditch.
Yeah.
And believe me, when they have to tie the plane with wires to the building so they can hold it on the ground while you have to climb up their stairs into the plane, does not give you good feelings.
No.
Now, where's this? Oh, this is experiment.
Mm-hmm.
What was the noise that they reacted to?
What?
You know, there were some firemen down working on a sewer hole, and they reacted to the loud roaring of an engine, which you can hear on their video. It was one of the most frequently played pieces right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And but you can hear what sounds like a plane, and it goes roaring past them in the air, and they all look up at it. So, and people talk about the sound of the plane, and then that particular video.
What
What was the sound?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that they're capable of doing that. Look what Hollywood's done. Hollywood does things that make you look like you're, on another planet.
Yeah.
I remember when Tom Cruise was in that movie where he used those gloves on his hand and had that great big huge glass in front of him, was manipulating all of these different things. Do you remember that movie? It was
No.
it was a movie where he went in and prevented murders before they happen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A little bit. That strikes.
Yeah, and then they end up hunting him down.
Yeah, what
And-
is that?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie, but anyway, that whole thing that he does is absolutely existed, except you didn't need the gloves. All you needed was your
Right.
you didn't
I'm gonna
need
show
the
you.
gloves.
And this is Blue Beam. Just to show you how advanced their hologram technology is.
They
What
did
was
that.
Clouds, thunderstorms, lightning. Monsters, dinosaurs. Look at this.
Gonna pet an orca, huh?
That's in the mall.
Yeah.
They brought them with the Oprah and those other talk shows that did virtual talk shows and the hologram. They did a good job at demonstrating those abilities. I love that.
And that's all a hologram, just like those planes.
You know, I would love to have that in real life. Scratch a polar bear's belly.
Yep, there's a thing.
Oh, I love those little
You penguin.
I would think that would keep crap out of that kid. You see it, but you can't touch it.
Yeah.
That would be confusing to a kid, I would think. A young one, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they have kids that are actors.
Yeah, but that's different. The kid that's acting knows that everything on set's acting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to put. She hit the wrong button again. I wouldn't
well,
want
you
to put Ace out and let him see things like that because he wouldn't have the concept of why don't when I bite it, it doesn't. I hurt my own self.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are like the same as a 5-year-old.
Permanent magnets are difficult things to understand. In fact,
Look at all the kids that played in the Little Rascals. You know, they were young.
Yeah, I read a thing on them when they were bad. All the child actors, they used to lock them in a box.
But wait a minute, Shadow, are you talking about old Little Rascals or new Little Rascals?
The old ones, the older ones.
Oh yeah,
you know, they were able to act. You know, no matter what they had to do or the circumstances, they were able to act and do their job, whatever it was they were supposed
But they
to.
were treated so badly. They were locked.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Metal boxes with locks and everything, and beaten and all that stuff. And you can only imagine what else.
I spend your night in a dog crate.
Yeah. I'm getting tired, and I gotta get up super early tomorrow. Got another long day tomorrow.
You gotta work another 8-hour day tomorrow?
9.
9?
All the way till Sunday.
Oh man, are you working the bar again?
No, it's just the airbrushing is so busy. There's so many RIPs. I've got a whole shelf full of things I gotta get done by Saturday.
Oh.
Are they for the veterans that got killed?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, ghetto people.
Ghetto people?
The gangs and all that stuff.
All the veterans that got killed? You mean all the Marines that got killed over in Afghanistan?
Yeah, that's what
No, not for us. Not where I'm at right now. These are people that died from shootings and or COVID, as they put it,
And what?
Oh.
or COVID.
Oh.
Because one of the Marines that got killed over in Afghanistan was from here. And they had a great big, huge memorial. I mean, thousands of people showed up.
I seen that.
It was big.
Yeah, there's a lot of flags around here that are half mast.
Mm-hmm.
Come on up, Vicky, before I go. Come on up.
Do you know that the flag on the White House is not at half mast and has only been at half mast the one day that they came home?
Wow.
You do not ask that other federal buildings lower their flags either?
It's because there's nobody in it.
In what?
The White House.
Yeah, but they still lower the flags, and they lowered it for the one day. But what he has to do is ask federal buildings to lower their flags. He did not do that. And when Nancy Pelosi wouldn't even allow the 13's names to be read into the record, which they do always, but I would that nobody noticed the flag on the top of the White House and several buildings are not.
Hey, found me.
YouTube.
Hey, it was sorry you interrupted your nap.
I can't help it.
I know, I've been there, done that a couple times.
I've fallen asleep on here before. Woke up in the morning and had
a conservative patriot. He's falling asleep. Ed's falling asleep. I'm falling asleep.
Yep.
You know, especially for playing something long, and I just fall off and go to sleep, and then I wake up in the morning and the screen says something weird.
Well, it seemed like that Dangerous Freedom fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny that night that he fell asleep. Everybody was trying to wake him up. That was hilarious.
Everybody trying to call him and everything.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Oh yeah. Let's see. There's a new JP.
Oh, I hadn't seen that come out.
Who's JP?
That's the guy we did the interview with Laura Trump with earlier.
Yeah, the long red hair guy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's funny. I like his sarcasm. This is
I do too. Oh, that's not sarcasm, but that's a good. I almost put that out.
I'm sure you're following what's happening in Afghanistan, and if you're at all like me, you're pissed off, you're disappointed by our administration that's simply not been acting like Americans. But for me, there's one thing worse than being pissed off, and that's not being able to do anything about it.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Helplessness.
So you are in luck because we're going to give you a way that you can help out the people that are in need, that are kind of abandoned by the administration. So if you don't know them, shame on you in the best way possible. I'm sitting with Tim Kennedy.
Hi.
Tim just got back from Afghanistan, helping evacuate with Save Our Allies. You evacuated 12,000 people?
Yeah, we moved 12,000 out of Afghanistan. We moved 8,911 of them out of Afghanistan and into our own humanitarian base in the UAE in Abu Dhabi that was set up by the UAE government. UAE, you're amazing. Thank you for your generosity. Then 5,000 of those we already relocated, and now we have 3,611 that we still have to move into their permanent homes.
Yeah.
So that is the fast update into where we are in this exact moment in numbers of. These were people that were targets of the Taliban. The SVI, so like a special visa was given to them because they were a high value target by the Taliban. And the American government let us get these people out. And now we have to find homes for them all.
And am I correct in believing that a number of them are orphans?
Yeah, we have. So the distinction between an unaccompanied minor and an orphan, according to UNICEF, is like, I don't care. An orphan or an unaccompanied minor, an unaccompanied kid coming from Afghanistan is an orphan.
Yeah.
They might have had a parent. They don't anymore. That being able to, like, there's no biometrics or like, what's the website where you give a little bit of blood and they tell you like your lineage?
23andMe.
Yeah, so that's not really an option in Afghanistan right now. These children need homes, and they have to be permanently relocated and with dignity and respect and safety, and that's a harder thing than it sounds. So
yeah. So SaveOurAllies.org
that's right.
is an organization that functions from bravery and doing the right thing for humanity, because Tim and this organization didn't have to go into Afghanistan. They don't have to help find these people homes, but you're doing it because
it's the American way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ultimate. Like this, I'm not anything special. The people that I were working with were extraordinary. Everyone there are volunteers. I was a volunteer. Nobody paid me to be there. Nobody put me on orders to be there. The military definitely didn't send me to be there. And these extraordinary people are doing extraordinary things, and the extraordinary people that we got to evacuate, they still need help. And the American spirit, we're so blessed to live in such a prosperous nation that we're in. That is not what Afghanistan is, and these refugees have nothing. They couldn't bring a single bag. We packed them butt to nut on these planes. A bottle of water is what they could bring on there, and some of them like stashed things in their armpits, like bites to eat. But they have nothing, and now they have to start over. And SaveOurAllies.org, Chad Robichaux and Sarah Verado, I love you guys for making this happen. But that's where you can help, is SaveOurAllies.org.
Yeah. Yeah, what's happened is a tragedy, and in my opinion, thanks to brave people like you, Tim.
There's a whole bunch of them.
I know, you're very humble, but the whole bunch of brave people, SaveOurAllies.org, doing the right thing, and you don't have to sit there just feeling pissed off and helpless anymore, because you can help. Go to SaveOurAllies.org, make a donation if you have the capacity. I know my wife and I, we just went on, and doesn't solve the whole problem, but it helps give these great people hope for a new beginning and a better future. And I think as Americans, evoking the American spirit, helping the innocent, that's something, if you have the capacity to do, now is the time to take action.
Yeah. Go and do it.
Thank you, Tim.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
what you guys are doing.
That was awesome.
I have
Yeah, to Afghanistan.
I
Yeah,
thought
that was cool.
he did that.
Huh?
I think that's neat he did that.
Yeah. I'm just like,
What's up, my
wow.
friend?
I mean, to do you? I mean, that's another thing is, what if there's impossible a what if scenario? What if these aren't what they're telling us it is, but the children from under the ground,
What?
the rescued children?
What about it?
What if this is not the thing that they're saying it is, but it's a bunch of people from down below that they rescued?
That they're trying to find homes for.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, I would assume that they must look like they have a suntan, and I wouldn't think they'd have a suntan down there.
I'm not saying, I mean, some people are just darker, naturally darker. I'm
Yeah.
just saying a lot of these videos are videos from older times. We've already proven that.
Right.
I'm just saying, what if what they're doing is not what they're showing us, but they're actually clearing out dumbs? And we know in Afghanistan, pedophilia is the norm. It's not a crime.
Right.
Practice, just like Robert David Steele said.
Uh-huh.
It's normal. Wasn't
It's
mine.
That's awful.
Well, it is in some people's houses. Read my book.
It really is a possibility. I would imagine that they would have to erase these children's minds so that they could, work on fitting into society.
It's supposed to be what the med beds are supposed to help with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the med beds are supposed to be able to help with that.
Exactly.
So you're saying that all of this Afghanistan thing is just a movie, part of the movie, and that these 18 military people are
Right.
gone along with the passengers of those airplanes, and it's to rescue, to bring up from the depths the children. I don't think they've got enough of them, for one thing.
Right.
They don't normally, they aren't telling us how many kids they could, accepting ones and twos and threes and fours. Nobody's saying they got 100 out of LA.
Right.
I think LA's was 300 and something, but that's the only one that was a large number. All the others are just routine numbers.
Right.
And they might arrest 35 adults and find two kids and say they found two kids. And I don't believe they found only two kids. That's where I go with this. They could be Afghanistan, but the way they were throwing the babies and those little kids at the Marines and the servicemen over there, they were throwing them. One guy was trying to grab one, and he missed, and it fell on the barbed wire fence.
Right.
He caught another one. They were throwing them like that. So I know that there are kids that got out that didn't get out with an adult, if it was the way it looks.
That reminds me of Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mothers knew that with the Taliban coming in, they didn't stand a chance, for one. And they didn't have much of a chance with the Afghans into power. Now the Taliban's running it, have gone ahead and gotten involved with China and become friends with China, so that they will be part of the new Silk Road. And it is also possible, what you're saying is possible, I just don't think so. There would have been so many kids over there that they were trying to get out, that they got out. After all, they could bring out those people that more than they could the Americans. Americans are told to stay outside of the airport, and they did. But they were told. That's why the California, Sacramento kids are still over there. They were told not to go to the airport. I don't know who's running that show, but it was a shit show.
Say that again.
I know when 107 was talking to Nino, Nino was saying that, you know, we left our helicopters and we left our guns and we left planes and we left
our balloons.
And they're all flying them around. And one tells him, he says, and he said, yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, he just slips it in. Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah.
But so it makes me wonder, you know, if this whole operation wasn't planned. And one of the reasons that they're so pissed off is that bombing wasn't supposed to happen.
Did you see Rachel's show today?
Mm-mm.
Didn't either.
The doggy issues, and there's a new Twitter video or something out, and it shows the dog crates being torn open and the dog's not there and blah 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 blah. But the announcer says that there were dogs running around on the outskirts on the perimeter. Well, none of those military dogs would have gone beyond the perimeter.
Ain't that it?
Yeah.
What?
That's the
The
way
empath warriors be like, I'm here. They'll never understand my pain. Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
I understand doggy pain too. Kitty pain, seagull pain.
I don't understand why they would leave those dogs behind. I mean, those dogs could, they don't need to, I know that I've heard, you know, Hawk talk, and he said it depends on whether the planes are, you know, decompressed or not. But all those planes with humans on them were compressed. I mean, they were made for humans to travel on them. Those dogs could have done anything.
I saw a disturbing article today that made too much sense, in that the CDC, under the thing about don't bring fruit over here from Mexico or whatever those things are. Right. Animals are now, for example, if I want to go to Hawaii and I want to take Ace, even though he's a service dog, Ace stays in quarantine for 2 weeks. And he has to be examined before leaving here, be examined there. He's in quarantine for 2 weeks there. They have those kinds of quarantines and restrictions. Well, right now, thank you very much, poof, is a quarantine for animals.
Yeah.
The CDC is the one who said they could not remove the animals because there's a lot of rabies and poof over there.
Right.
Now,
the animals don't have the coof.
I know that. And a Marine or a military dog is going to have rabies shots.
That's right. That's right. They've got handlers. There's not a dog over there that didn't have a handler. So if they need 50 dogs there, they need 50 handlers. Where were those handlers?
They could have been told to leave the dog, and that would have been something that they do on some missions. And that was one of the things that one of the guys on Rage today had. Both Rage and he had been in the service. Both of them have experience with guys who had canines. And they do occasionally leave the dogs back and don't take them on a mission.
Right.
They could have been, the service people could have been instructed that this was a no canine mission and left them in their crate. However, I don't know a person that would have had that kind of relationship with a dog that would have left it. This is your buddy.
No, I don't either. I think it, you know, personally, my opinion is it's just another distraction. and it's a very emotional one because Americans are very passionate about animals, and I just think it's another
children.
distraction.
I think I'm just not sure what we're supposed to be looking at that we're not seeing.
And my screen's locked up. So
There's so much bullshit out there that they say is real that isn't real, and then stuff that is real that they say. Yeah, I mean, it's just what's left is right and what's right is left and what's up is down, and it's just all messed up, you know.
It's more messed up now to me than it was before, because now we know they're doing something or supposed to be doing something, and to think that had we known on 9/11 that that was done by our people and really had no planes in it.
damn.
Oh yeah, 9/11 was done by the Bush family.
Right, but had we known it on that day,
Bush, Cheney, there were a bunch of them, but mainly the Bushes and like I said, leaders from at least 5 other countries.
but had we all known about it on that day, it would have been worse, I think, than had we not, because we're the people, just like with Afghanistan, if it's not real, and that was where they were coming down today, by the way, on Rage's show, was that it was not real, it was a show. And knowing it while it's happening, watching the caskets come back, that kind of thing is even worse. Somehow for me. I know that there were all those dead people that got buried and all that between the Pentagon and the towers, but at the time we thought it was real.
Yes, we thought it was real, and you know how many people signed? Young people, just people signed up for the military to go there and fight a war that was started by them for shock and awe, and came back in bits and pieces, or not at all.
Right.
You know, for a war that should have never ever been. You know, it's no wonder those people hate us.
Right.
I wonder if the Taliban actually is looking forward to it coming out, that not only did they not instigate it, they didn't do it, Israelis did it, and maybe they want to be vindicated by having all this come out finally, that they're not the bad guys, and they made that agreement with Trump.
We don't know what Trump did over there. That's the magic of it. We don't know what he did when he went over there, but I do believe he did something.
I do too.
I don't know who he made the deals with, but they are the people that will control the Taliban. You know,
I saw a picture earlier. I don't remember.
I mean, he wouldn't have gone over and talked to all the Taliban themselves. He would have gone over and talked to the main leaders.
Right.
Wayne Kerr.
Hello?
Hello?
Who was that voice?
It was on my tablet.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. That voice.
That was freaking me out. Did y'all see that video where that lady was in there? She was talking about it, and these guys were saying these names, and they're funny as heck. I think I sent it to you, Angel.
I have to check it.
Let me send it to you.
I'm getting really sleepy.
Yep.
Yeah, you were really sleepy a half hour ago.
It was so funny. They would make up names like
in this
What is it?
say names like his name is Wayne Kerr. You know, make these names were just.
Yeah.
I don't know. You need to quit asking, Angel, because you keep asking.
I leaned over.
I know.
No,
But
I
let's
saw a picture.
get up earlier tomorrow. Hopefully the door will work tomorrow.
The door.
Yeah, the lock.
Well, I saw a picture. You know, she's talking about this element might be different. I saw a picture and we're showing Trent and the Telebond and gold bars. Maybe that's what there was about, getting the gold.
They've been holding the gold for us. It
Mhm.
could be a nice place to hide it. Yeah.
Oh my God, they got this new Cinderella coming out on Amazon with a very, very gay, dykey, fairy godmother.
Mm.
Godmother.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a drag queen.
No, it's not a drag queen. It is a guy. He's a guy, but he's very much. He's the fairy godmother.
Well, in the back in the time of Shakespeare, women weren't allowed to be actors or actresses, and they weren't allowed to be on stage. All the men were the women.
Sure.
Did you notice that a lot of men act like women?
Yeah. Like my roommate or ex-roommate. But well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to bed.
Hey, get some sleep.
Yeah.
Don't work your butt off too hard.
Tomorrow's
Oh,
maybe we'll hear my fellow Americans.
Love y'all. Sorry I fell asleep.
Oh, that's all right. I think we're
right.
all draining today. It's hot. It's hot. It's humid, and I have had a stressful day with a ex-roommate and all that crap. You know, trying to having to change the lock and all that stupid shit.
Well, I think I'm going over there to Hawks.
I'm gonna go to sleepy pie, and I'll see you all tomorrow around 9:00.
All right, love y'all. Have a good night. Love y'all.
Okay.
Good night.
God
bless.
Good night.
You
Good
too.
night, everybody. God bless. Be
God
safe.
bless.
You too.
Okay, I gotta get out of here. I gotta move this so I can get out. Okay.
Yep. Remember, everybody, where we go one, we go all. Yeah, we stand. Divided we fall. If we lose this country, we have no one but ourselves to blame. I will see you all tomorrow evening. God bless. Angel of Yahweh out.